Hi everyone, welcome to the collective reading for the month of July 2024. I have to apologize again. My sinuses are acting up. I have a histamine issue, so I'm a little nasally. So you guys have to deal with it for the next 20 to 30 minutes. So sorry, give me some grace, please. I know you guys always do. So, like this video, please. Share it with anybody that needs to hear the energies of the week. What else? Comments down below. Feedback always welcome. Just be kind. What else? Subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. If you've seen more than one of my readings, that means you should subscribe, okay? And then you also get notifications for new videos that come out, which at this point, I am only doing weekly and monthly collective readings. But I plan to expand as my health gets better. So please subscribe. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Same 4 decks as usual. Nothing changes there. I think I changed the order from the last reading I did. Definitely shuffled, obviously. Let's begin. I'm interested to see what July has in store for us, so let's just get into it. Okay, we have need. We have chop wood. Okay, you guys know what this is about. This is really about doing the little things and making sure that we are, I believe it actually came out in the health and wellness in the last week of June. So basically it's saying that we need to do we need to focus on the smaller things in life, not necessarily the bigger picture, right? It's not a bigger picture type energy. It's a small win type energy. Making sure that we're dotting our I's, crossing our T's, and making things, it also has a little bit of the 9 energy, even though it says 42 connected to it. 9 energy is really about, it's about humanitarian forgiveness, all that stuff. But at the same time, it's also about endings. That's really kind of the bigger type energy that surrounds it. So, so a little bit of that comes through as well, where it's kind of like saying, just before you start new projects, finish up projects, don't forget the little things. Also too, I want to say, like, don't necessarily expect bigger results this month. It's really about, because you can look at it too as like habits. Like it's really about doing the little things that add up to the big things, but not necessarily, you know, you kind of have to work at it in a way. You know, not necessarily expecting huge results for anything that you actually end up doing this month. And that's okay. That's okay. It's basically saying it's really about the everyday. It's really about the little things that you do, okay? Ooh, I'm getting really stuffed up right now. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, action needed. Addict helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Okay, but this is in the shadow, so we're recognizing it, right? And so this is very interesting because addiction is, I don't want to say similar to habits, what I just was talking about, but addiction is something that you're constantly doing when you're more of like obsession or addicted, but it's coming up in the light. So basically it's saying we're facing our addictions, right? And that's the action that needed. Basically it's saying, it's kind of looking at how we can look at it in a more positive way, because again, it came upright, so it didn't come in the negative, which, you know, would be a little bit I don't want to say scary, but, you know, we would have to really kind of look out for that, because as you guys can imagine what the shadow and the addictions part, you know, an addict archetype would look like, right? So and very, you know, no shame here, okay? Everybody has their addictions to something, everybody has their vices, etc., but it's saying, how can we make it work for us, right? And it's basically saying that is the action that is needed. So basically it's saying whatever we're obsessed with, we can, how do I say this? We can use it towards, you know, we're using it more positively this month. That's actually working for us. And again, could be linked to what I just said with habits. Like we can make it into more of a healthy habit. So say you're addicted to over exercising. Maybe you find the balance this month and it really does help you with your small goal of losing maybe a pound a week or something like that. I think that's actually a big goal, right? Because isn't that about average? Losing 1 pound a week. I think that's pretty healthy. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not a personal trainer or a nutritionist. But so basically it's saying using the things that we are, and it's funny I said shame, because it almost feels like, don't be ashamed of this. You know, don't be ashamed at like what you're addicted to or what you need more of, or you can't get enough of, or you're obsessed with or something like that. Because again, it's coming in the positive and it could actually really improve your life in some way, shape, or form. So that's a very interesting type message, but hopefully it resonates with you guys, okay? issue. So what will we have issues with? Interesting, guys. Consistency. All right. So this makes sense. This is basically saying, going back to this card here, it's talking about doing the little things. Focus on what you can do, right? And focus on, don't be ashamed of yourself if you go overboard with something, and you know, channel your energy, channel your obsessiveness, what you're super into, what you quote unquote addicted to, in a more positive type way, because consistency is what we're going to have an issue with. So basically it's saying, by doing this, by practicing that, we're going to be able to fight through this consistency issue that we're having, because it's definitely telling me with these 3 cards in a row like this, consistency is an issue that we're having issues with problems with, and July looks like so far that it's something that we're confronting and figuring out a different way that we can be consistent that works for us, right? That's what it feels like. It's saying, how can we can channel what we think is so bad about us into something really positive for us, something really consistent for us. How do we achieve our goals? How do we find success? How do we do this in a way that you can keep up with, and that you can create your own consistency with? Because it definitely does feel like we're having issues with that. Let me actually see what the next one is, because sometimes challenge is similar. See from a higher perspective. Okay, so this is really, we had a perspective card, I think, in the last week of June as well. So basically it's saying from a different perspective, so we're having a challenge, like seeing that as a different perspective. But maybe what I just said is, and I don't know if I explained the addict card super well, because I know that could be very triggering for a lot of people, especially when it comes to what we're addicted to. It's a very sensitive topic, and I apologize. I don't mean to say it insensitively or anything like that, but there is something here that we can turn things around. And so basically this is basically saying that, how could we see it from another perspective? And it's definitely going to help us, but we're going to have issues with that. And that makes sense, because the things that we're ashamed of, we're really, it's almost like loving the shamed parts of ourselves, or what we don't like about ourselves, and that's really challenging, right? But that requires looking at a higher perspective, looking at a different perspective. So we're going to have issues with that, but it does feel like we're figuring out how things work for us, and figuring out how we can be more consistent, how we can create habits, and how we can make the things that we don't really like about ourselves into something a little bit more positive that help us put our goals into action. So I love this. This is very interesting. I didn't think the reading was going to go this way, but let's keep going. All right, what's going to change? Mending. Okay, so how we make up with people, how we fight with people, how we argue with people, how we are in conflict with people is definitely changing. This could also literally mean that we are mending friendships this month, or any kind of connection of any kind. It doesn't have to mean that you've been physically apart from somebody. Could also be emotionally. Maybe you didn't even have a friend break up, but you guys have been kind of distant lately. Definitely does feel like it's a good month to come back together and naturally come back together. So it could literally mean that, but it definitely has this feeling of we are learning how to repair things. We're learning how conflict resolution a lot better. Guys, this is like personal development month, I feel like, because we're really growing. And so far, I know nothing has been sticking out yet for sometimes I tell you guys, even though we have separate slots for them, but sometimes I say oh, this is better for your career, this is better for your relationships. It could just be, obviously, all of these skills, habits, conflict resolution, consistency, all of that stuff, channeling the things we don't like about ourselves into something positive. All of those things could obviously do well in any of those areas, but it could be, personal development, but also professional development. Okay, so, and it feels a little bit more like that. It feels like it's going in that direction. Very curious to see what money, finances, and career has for us, but definitely does feel like we're really focusing on ourselves and just self-improvement in general. And so I love it. And let's see what else this month has in store for us. Okay, we have magical child and focus, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. Okay, so yeah, you're focusing on how things are possible, right? Which is interesting, because this is more of a bigger picture kind of thing. And basically we need to be, focusing a little bit more on the small wins and breaking things down a little bit more in a grounded way. But this is saying that we really kind of need to think about like what is actually possible. So maybe it's saying like having our goals be something that, having a vision, having a big vision for ourselves. And the way that we're going to achieve it is to break it down, okay? Is to break it down and do the small things and focus on the small wins, because that's how we're going to get there, okay? So looks like this is like the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, but everything else seems like, hey, this is what we have to do every single day, okay? That's how I'm interpreting it, at least. What do we need to reflect on? Fragility. Okay, so fragility to me is a little bit sensitivity. So we need to reflect on our sensitivity, but it's not a bad thing. It's just saying, where do we need to, maybe sensitivity is not the right word. Sensitivity is not a weakness, so I hate like jumping from this, but it's almost like this feeling of like, because sensitivity is a superpower. As you guys know, I've been saying this for years. If anybody's new here, that is true. Sensitivity is a superpower, but it can be a curse if we don't necessarily channel it in the right way, right? And focus, and have our boundaries and all that good stuff. But this is basically saying like where we are having trouble, where we are, what we need to work on. I don't want to say weakness, but I feel like I do need to say it. I'm a little hesitant, but it's kind of like, where are we necessarily not our strongest suit, not our strongest attribute, okay? And so where we're fragile, what can break, if that makes sense. And so gosh, I hope that makes sense, and I hope you guys aren't correlating sensitivity to weakness, because that's not what I meant at all. But I hope we're getting it. I hope I'm redeeming myself here. But where we need to improve on. Okay, what do we get the most sensitive about? Things like that. And basically is just saying, just reflect on that, because there's some meaning behind it, and there's definitely some more work that needs to be done around there. So just reflect on that. Usually there's a journal prompt through here. So basically saying, what do I get the most, upset about? What do I get the most sensitive about? What do I think is one of my weaknesses? What part of myself can I strengthen, etc., etc. Those are good journal prompts for this one. Okay, responsibilities. We have great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. Okay, so your responsibility this week is to connect the dots. Sometimes I call this the connect the dots card. I don't know if I ever said that on camera, but I do. It's basically saying put the meaning in your experiences. Basically, find the aspect of spirituality. What you've learned from whatever has happened to you. You're the student, you must learn from the teacher. Everything is always teaching us a lesson, including the people that come into our life, the challenges that we have. And so your responsibilities is to connect the dots this week. I love that it's next to the reflect, because it's something else you can kind of reflect on, but your I almost feel like there's an aha moment somewhere in here this week around something that happened, and you just connecting the dots around it. And so that's always a positive thing when you understand, when you have meaning, right? I always say finding the meaning in suffering is what helps us get through the suffering, right? And so this is more so aligned with that. Money, finances, and career. Let's see, guys, here and now. Okay, so this is about being present. I have gotten so many cards around that. Oh my gosh. I keep getting cards in this slot about being present. Take a chill pill. You're right here, right now. Have patience, things like that. So shall I say more stagnant energy? Kind of, because this is not moving forward and this is not moving backwards. Here and now is just the presence. Okay, so it's like, okay, focus on what you can control here. Focus on what's going on right now. Don't necessarily future trip. Don't necessarily look backwards. There's not too much you can do in the money, finances, and career. If I could connect it to everything up there in that front row, I would say the reason why we're not moving forward is because we have to get all of these things in order. Okay, for our, like I said, I definitely felt like it was coming through a more professional development type of way. So basically July is for figuring that out. It's figuring that out. And so it's saying like, work on those things, work on conflict resolution, work on changing your perspective, work on consistency, work on habits and small win, and celebrating the small wins, work on channeling your addictions for something positive. Okay, and it's saying like all of that stuff is going to be good for your professional career in the future, but you have to do it now. So it's more about doing the work now, because that's what you're doing. Like that's what we have is the present moment, and so work on it now, and that will definitely help your future. But the main goal should just be professional development. At least that's what I'm getting from this. Let's see what surprises. Surprise, 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 surprise. Knight, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. Okay, so this is really about, the White Knight coming in to save us, full of honor, very respected. So the fact that we're kind of in this archetype and it's under surprise is basically saying there, might be somebody that respects you, or somebody that you might just feel, I don't even have an example for this, more honorable, or you might feel like you've saved yourself with something. It's a little bit of a surprise because it's kind of energy kind of out of nowhere. But that saving energy could come with any of the following any of the previous stuff I just talked about personal and professional development, like working on yourself. So you might, that might be the honorable thing. You might be proud of yourself, that kind of thing. So, there's not too much more I could say about that, except it kind of comes out of the blue. But I could also see it coming at us energy, like, somebody, coming in that feels like a knight, somebody coming into, I don't want to say save, I do want to say assist, that might assist us or be honorable or something along those lines, like somebody, the thing that I'm thinking of is like, you're at work and you forgot a project, but like your coworker covers for you or something like that. To me, it's like somebody coming in and like, saving your ass, like that kind of thing. That's how I see it. So yeah, it could be output too. Yeah. All right, let's see what's going on. Friends, motivation. Okay, friends motivate you. They motivate you to be better. This is a great card to have because of all of the self-development that we're doing this month. So friends come out of the woodwork and definitely support you and motivate you. And is there anything better? I think not. And I don't have much more to say about that, but I want to see what romantic connections have. Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. Okay, so this is about following your inner knowing when it comes to your romantic connections. Some things we just know, right? I always talk about it's the intuitive gift that is the weirdest one because it's the inner knowing, and it's basically like, how the hell do I know what I know? And it's claircognizant, basically. That's the technical term for cognizance. But follow your inner knowing. There's not too much more I can say about this. If you know you are not compatible with somebody, if you're on a date with somebody and you just know in your hearts of hearts that that they're not for you, then they're not for you. Okay, you just know in your soul. So this requires obviously tapping into your intuition, and just go with it. That's the best thing I could say. Important. Loyal heart. Okay, it's important to nurture our relationships. It's important to, especially those that are extremely loyal to us, the people that have our backs. This is really great for friendships and romantic connections. I don't see anything bad about, inner knowing. It's just basically a spirit just saying our inner knowing is strong this week. That's it. It's neutral. It's not bad. It's not good. Yeah, so loyal heart. So yeah, so honoring, those that really are there for us. So it's important that you do make time for them. There might be a friend this month that really needs your support. It goes both ways because your friends are very, very amazing to you in July. And you always return the favor. That's what loyalty is about. You got their back, they've got yours. Okay, so that's what's under important. Health and fitness. What do we got going on? We have mother in the shadow, smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. Okay, so this is about, ooh, how funny. I'm getting more so a couple things. Could be a mother wound. Most people have a mother wound. If not, God bless. But mother wound, if you are a parent, this could be extra helicopter parenting type style that Spirit wants us to look at and cut out, basically, because basically it's under health and wellness, and it came in the shadow. So basically it's saying we need to look at our unhealthy patterns with the mother wound, with how we might be smothering our children, how our parents smothered us, how we actually mother in general. You don't have to be a mother, or everybody is everybody has a mother, right? That's one thing that we have in common, but you don't have to be a parent to really understand this. So there's something there about the mother wound that we really need to pay attention to. You guys know I do not read, oh God, how do I say this? Let's just put it this way. This is important for anybody that is looking to conceive out there. I do not read anything about death, legal, usually health, and I mean like medical health, or pregnancy, okay? So I will say, just if you are looking to conceive, it's really important that you work on your reproductive health this month, in June, and making sure everything is good there. And it's definitely the month to do so. But if you are looking to do that and you're trying to have future plans, obviously I'm talking to, cisgender females, right? If also too could be males too, they also have reproductive health, but mostly females. But work on the mother wound, work on reproductive health. It's just so important. There's something going on here in July around that, which is interesting. I haven't gotten this, I don't think, ever, but I read what I read. I let you guys know what's coming through here. So just FYI, anybody trying to conceive or do something around giving birth or the mother archetype in any type of way, definitely take care of it in July. And by the way, I don't mean to say it's like in a negative way. It's actually more in a positive way, even though it came in the shadow, because basically it's saying you need to take care of this in order to do this and have the outcome that you want. So hopefully that makes sense. But this card can go a few different ways for people. Again, if you're an actual male watching this, cisgender male, look into your mother wound or your parenting style, because again, mother archetype you could be a male and have the mother archetype, okay? Because it's just feminine energy. That's it. So males have feminine and masculine energy the same way females have masculine and feminine energy. Okay, we all have both. Okay, a single parent could be both. Okay, so for example, or when they have an absent parent or whatever. Anyway, I think I spoke too much there. I think you guys understand. And then we have overall outcome. We have change. Okay, so overall outcome, we are changing this month. Clearly, okay? We started out really strong, pretty clearly about professional development, personal development, working on ourselves, just improving these little places in our life that really add up to bigger things that will help us have success in the future. And, a couple other things just kind of sprinkled around, like our friend, our friend group is great, and they're, motivational, inspirational. And yeah, don't forget to, be loyal to those people as well. But, yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks positive. It's a weird month, but, I like it. I like it. All right, guys, any questions or anything down, put them down below. Also, let me know if this stuff resonates with you. I would love to see how this mother card in the health and wellness section resonates for you guys. If you care to share, if you feel comfortable sharing. I might have an idea what it means for me, but I won't know until the month. And don't forget, you can come back here and make any comments anytime you want. Sometimes I like watching these readings the beginning of the month and then the middle of the month and the end of the month, so I could really kind of look back and see, what actually came to fruition and, what energies I actually worked with. So, and how they actually transpired and manifested. So, changes in the air. I love it. All right, guys, have a wonderful month, and watch out for the weeklies as usual, and I'll see you soon. Bye.